Happy New Year! Well, not quite, but you know, I'm not going to be here for New Year's, so just like Florence Sandu, Happy New Year in advance, you mother flockers. Thank you guys so much for joining me on New Year's Eve. We've only got today and early tomorrow morning, but to be honest, most of us probably won't be up tomorrow morning. Unfortunately, I will because I've got work, but most of us won't be up tomorrow morning to sort out our transfers, so we've only got tonight to sort this all out. But of course, as always, we start off with what is everyone drinking. I'm drinking a little bit of whiskey and ginger ale because it's a special occasion, so I thought beer's a bit too normal, a bit too average. I thought I'd do something a bit more special in my special glass. So cheers, boys. And straight away, hair in my glass. Great start to the stream. Anyway, that was clean as well, but never mind. So we got in the chat, we've got Matthew Berry, we've got Real DMC, we've got Steve Shotton, we've got Florence Sandu, we've got Evan J. Fox catching the stream live, we've got Alan Arjadinovic catching the stream. How did you all do for Game Week 21? Because it was a bit of a strange Game Week, wasn't it? I think I did okay, which we'll cover in a second. Hopefully I did okay. As far as Game Week goes for the overall ranking, I'm pretty sure I did decent. Not anything spectacular, but decent. But to be honest, a lot of my focus is now going to the Cup, purely because I'm still in it. And I kind of would like to win it, because that would be a cool vlog to do. So definitely part of me is looking towards the Cup fixture, as well as looking at my overall ranking. So what we'll do right now, before we get into the rest of it, actually, no, I won't do it right now because some more of you will join, and then when more of you join, you'll ask how I did anyway. So we'll get onto that later. We'll start looking at the comments in the chat. Real DMC won his cup match, so he is moving on in the cup. Maybe we'll face each other one day, if I'm still in it, that is. Matthew Berry bought in Son, Adrian and Arnautovic for double game week. Good move. As far as if you wanted to get them in before their price rise, I can tell you Son, Kane, Arnautovic, Ericsson, Ogbonna, Adrian, Long, for some reason, from Burnley, defender, Sterling and Joel Pereira are all scheduled to go up in price tonight. So if any of those players are the players you want for the double game week, and you only just have enough money to make that move, then you probably need to be making your transfer soon, very soon. Personally, Matthew Berry, Son, I think is a good shout. He might be a differential. A lot of people may look at Ericsson and Dele Alli. Adrian and Arnautovic, I like Arnautovic. I personally am not 100% sure West Ham will get a clean sheet. That all depends on if they go back to the form they had in defence against the likes of Arsenal and Chelsea and Stoke, or the form they had against Newcastle and Bournemouth, where they conceded 3 in each game. So defence, as far as I'm concerned, at West Ham's a bit risky. Arnautovic I like as a pick though, and West Ham do have some very good fixtures coming up. They do have Spurs in Game Week 22 after West Brom, but then they have Huddersfield, Bournemouth, Crystal Palace and Brighton Hove Albion. So Arnautovic seems to be in form right now, definitely seems a good option. We've got 22 people watching so far, so that's pretty impressive, especially on New Year's Eve. I thought a lot of you would be out drinking, so why not? I'm not out drinking because I've got work, like I've already said, so why not drink with you guys? So Steve Shotton, 26k drop, so taking a -8 to have a 6 times 2 game week players, and triple captaining Kane. I'm worried about Kane, if I'm extremely honest with you guys, because he did have an illness. His chances of playing are 50% right now, and I don't like that. I don't like playing a triple captain on someone I'm not sure is going to play both games. But triple captaining Kane will be very, very popular, so you're not probably going to hurt yourself. The only downside would be if he doesn't play both games, then you might not be able to use that triple captain further down the line when it may have been more beneficial. And sorry guys, I am still ill, so I do have tissues down there if I need to blow my nose or my nose starts running. You may get the same pausing that you got in the last stream, but I am better than I was that night. That was the start of my cold. I then had 2 terrible days, still had to go work, and now I am starting to feel a bit better. So we're just getting this stream in there to make sure we get content up for every single game week so far. So far this will be game week 22, so we've gone 22 game weeks without missing a single game week as far as content for you guys, which I'm proud of myself, because by this point I've usually missed one game week at some point. We're more than halfway through the season, so I, you know, pat myself on the back for that one. Real DMC, Adrian, Arnautovic, Musaka, Kane and Ali for me. Hit the triple captain 2, it's on Kane, but thinking could go on Ali. That could work. I personally prefer to put my triple captain on informed players with easy fixtures, which would be Kane, of course, but no one knows if Kane's going to play, which is a real worry for a lot of us fantasy football managers at the moment. This is the worst time for him to pick up an illness, so hopefully he can shrug that off and play in both games. I think if he can play, he will play. I don't think they'll rest him, because I think they really want to catch up with some of the leading pack in the Premier League at the moment. So, Florence Sandu, popping Robbie Bubbles. Popping Robbie Bubbles? Is that a drink, or Real DMC's on the JD and Coke? And I am going to have to blow my nose early midstream, or at least wipe it. Which is great, you know. Love streaming on YouTube with a runny nose. Alright, sorry about that. Sorry you had to see that. Okay. Who am I captaining? It will be most likely Harry Kane if he can play both games. I'm not sure if he can or can't. I'm just now watching a repeat of me rub my nose with tissue, which I really didn't want to do on YouTube, but yep, that's what it's come to try and be consistent. It's probably going to be Harry Kane, Evan J. Fox. I wish I'd put it on Salah. I put it on Firmino, and I even changed to Salah and then changed back to Firmino for this game week, and I would have easily gone through in the cup had I captained Salah, because that's who my opponent captained. And yeah, it's a close call because I didn't captain Salah. But fortunately for me, the rest of my team did better than his. It's just, did they do better enough, which we will look at right now. But as far as who I'm captaining, Harry Kane will be the captain. If not, I might put a cheeky captain on Arnautovic. I'll probably captain Kane just to cover my bases with the most owned captain. Because to be honest, not having the most owned captain almost hurt me this game week. I should have gone with Salah. But we will now look at my game week, because we've got almost 30 people viewing at the moment. I got 57 points. I'm pretty sure, if we go to status, everything is added. Yep, confirmed and added bonus points. So I managed to get 57 points. The average was 45. Highest was 122. Game week rank was at 1,189,852. My overall points is now at 1,231. My overall rank still in the top 1% at 50,300. Out of 5.6 plus million players. Did go down in the FPL Today League and some other leagues. Did go up in some other leagues as well, so it shows what kind of game week it was. And then as far as the cup goes, it looks like I won, and I will be moving on into the next round of the cup. My opponent, Crunchy Loves Cornflakes, got 50 points. He captained Salah. If he hadn't have captained Salah, I would have destroyed him. But he didn't really get points from anyone else. I know some Norton came off the bench because Christensen didn't play. I think Choupo-Moting came off the bench because Silva didn't play. And he had Sterling, but of course Sterling didn't do anything. Kolasinac, I know it's unfortunate, but he got subbed off in 36 minutes, which means he wasn't going to get clean sheet points. I don't like players getting injured, but that did help me out because I was worried about him. I was also worried about a clean sheet for West Brom as well. That would have probably knocked me out if those two had got clean sheets. Alonso did well for him. Grosh did okay for him with 3 points. None of his strikers really performed, so he only got 50 points, and 28 of those were from Mohamed Salah. I am through to the next round of the Cup, though, thanks to decent performances from the likes of Nick Pope, Otamendi, Jones, and me. I got almost a clean sweep in defence with 4 defenders. De Bruyne didn't do much. Looks like he could be injured. Might not play the next game. Salah as well. Might not play the next game with a knock. Sterling was rested, So I'm hoping, with only 33 minutes played, that means he's almost certain to play next game. Richarlison did pop up with another assist, which means 2 assists in 2 games. Whilst that's not as good as the bigger scores he was getting around this period here, where he was getting 7, 10, 5, 5, 7, 8, 6. It is at least points being returned. Carroll didn't do much at all, really. And then we had Firmino, who I captained, only getting 2 points, doubled up to 4. But it was enough to go through in the cup. Next cup opponent isn't arranged yet, but still in it. Still in it, still with a chance to win it. Alan Arjaninovic. I'll probably always say his name differently, but he's brought in Eriksen, Arnautovic and Aguero now that Jesus is injured. I do now like Aguero as an option because it looks like Jesus could be out for a couple of months. Do we have any confirmation on it yet? It's still being assessed, but he is ruled out of the next game. Aguero does look like a good option now to be in your sides, which would go against the current formations of playing 5 in midfield and 4 at the back or 3 at the back, because Aguero is expensive and I think people who have Kane aren't getting rid of Kane. So that's definitely brought up a conundrum for us FPL managers. Desiree Charija is in the chat. How are you doing, my friend? How far behind the chat have I got? Not that far, to be honest. Connor Mullin says Captain Son. You know what? I like Son as a captain choice if Kane isn't playing, because Son may play in that striker position. And we've hit over 40 people watching, by the way. But Son may play in the striker position if Kane is going to have a rest in one of the game weeks, or in one of the games in the game week. So I do like Son as a captaincy option if that is the case. Dom J is in the chat. How you doing? Rohan Sharma, Happy New Year to you as well, my friend. FPL Cadet, who's my captain for Game Week 22? I will say it's going to be Harry Kane. And if Harry Kane is not going to play in one of the games, and that may come to the very last minute that I make that kind of decision, and I may just make the decision with no actual knowledge of if he's going to play or not. It will be Kane, and if it's not Kane, it will be a Spurs player. I imagine it will be Son, but it could be Eriksen. I would still go with Eriksen personally over Dele Alli, but to be honest, Dele Alli probably is the one that's going to be more explosive an option. Daniel Cannon, if you put your team in the chat, I can quickly rate it. I won't go into like long detail, but I can quickly rate it. Desiree Tree just says Son or Ali. So you know what we do when a question like that comes up? We compare, of course. So we've got Son here. We'll bring him up. This is all for the last 6 game weeks, by the way. And we'll compare his stats to Dele Alli, if I can find him, which apparently I can't, which is fantastic. He does exist. I know he exists. Why can't I find him? Is that him? Do those stats look right? Potentially. Anyway, I think this is the right guy. Let me check. He's had 5 appearances here. Let me have a quick check on here. 5 appearances in the last 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm not sure I've got the right guy. Although Game Week 21 isn't showing there. Did he play? Anyway, I think I've got the right guy, but 2 yellow cards, apparently 4 starts. Is there 4 starts? Sorry for this. 1, 2, 3. So if he came on as a sub here, there'd be 4 starts. And I don't know. Okay, if I'm looking at the right person, which I'm still not 100% sure of. Okay, it said 1 goal in the last 6. That looks about right, actually. And yeah, he didn't play last game week, did he? So I'm pretty sure I've got the right guy. Anyway, short interlude there. Son has got 3 goals to Ali's 1. Assists, Ali's got 5 to Son Ming. I can't say his full name, but Son. Son's 4, so that's 5-4 on assists to Ali, but 3-1 to goals to Son. As far as FPL goal involvement, Son wins both quite easily. In fact, he wins 50 to 46 if it's FPL goal involvement. If it's normal goal involvement, then it's 43 to 38. Bonus points, Son is more likely to get bonus points. Minutes per goal is better for Son. Minutes per attempt is also better for Son. Shot accuracy and goal conversion is better for Son. And as far as assists go, you'd think chances created would be higher for Ali, since he's got more assists, but it isn't. Also, big chances created is better for Son, as well as chances created in total. Less through balls, however. But to be honest, Son looks like the better pick if you're looking at underlying stats. Okay, so Dom J, and again, apologies, I am ill if you're wondering why I seem to be malfunctioning at times. But you should see me at work when I'm trying to do my job and malfunctioning as well. Dom J, do you think I'll profit from a free hit? Arno, Lanzini, Ali, Son, Adrian and Kane. That's completely up to you if you think this is the best time to use a free hit. I personally don't think it is the best time. Again, completely up to you though. If you really feel like you could lose massive ground this double game week without using a free hit, then go for it. But I personally will be keeping my free hit for when I think there's the most blanks in a game week. So that will be my move. What about Kane as captain next game week? That all depends on if he's going to play, and I don't know if he's going to play right now. It's going to be a gamble whether you go with Kane or not. If Kane doesn't play both games and you do pick someone like Son, and Son does do well over 2 games, then you are actually going to do really well for yourself. So it will be a risk. Most people will captain Kane. I still think most people will captain Kane. So if you go with Kane, that may work out really well for you. If you go with Son and everyone's captaining Kane and then he doesn't play both games, you could have a massive jump in ranking. So it's a calculated risk in what you want to achieve. I probably will still keep it on Kane though. By the way, update on the FPL couple, not the FPL family, just for the record. Jeff Holt managed to beat his wife Maria 62 points to 58. She's drinking the white wine, and cause is for Jeff Holt. Nice to see competitive FPL in a relationship. That's what I love to see. Alex Howlett, I've taken an 8-point hit. Got Gomez out for Adrian. Son and Arnautovic for Richarlison and Lingard. What do you think? Will be a better time to play triple captain? To be honest, it's unlikely if there wasn't any doubt about Kane playing both games. Because there is doubt, there might be a better time. But Kane against the 2 teams he's playing against, I doubt you're going to get an informed player the calibre of Kane playing Swansea and West Ham in a double game week again this season. I doubt it. If it does happen, then I'll hold my hands up. But usually you only get 1 or maybe 2 times in a year in the FPL season where this kind of thing happens. I hate blowing my nose in public, so this is big for me, you know, even wiping my nose in front of you guys. Anyway, Tommy plays. My team isn't good enough. I wanted to use my triple captain, but De Bruyne and Lukaku injury kind of messed it up. So I'm going to use my wild card and bring in another Spurs player. Again, if you need to do that, if that's what you think you need to do, go for it. I will be trying to keep my wild card and my free hit for later in the season, but who knows? I may look at it live with you guys. I don't know yet, but if I don't use it live, if I don't make my transfers live, then who knows? But last time I made my transfers live, it worked, didn't it? So, but I'm going to try and keep my free hit and my wild card. Another Hoops is in the chat. Dom J says he loves double game weeks. We'll see about that when the double game week's over, if I love him. Alex Howlett might swap Ward for Ogbonna, as there are so many players who won't play. Again, there are a lot of players that might not play for for a lot of the sides. The plus side with West Ham and Spurs is they've now had a rest, so they may very well play the same as teams in the same 2 games. Desiree Charija, beware of too much Spurs versus West Ham. West Ham's good defence. I don't know if they're good yet. They did have 3 games where they were really good, and then they messed up 2 games in a row really badly. Dom J, I've played a free hit and brought in 6 double game week players, Aguero and defenders who will all play, fearing player rests. It could work out really well for you. The only thing you've got to worry about is if other people, in the big picture and long term, will other people use the free hit better than you use it if you use it now? Because yes, you're gonna, if you use your free hit correctly now, you're gonna jump above players that haven't used their free hit. However, they might jump back even bigger if they use the free hit later. Robbie Bubbles is non-alcoholic champagne. Okay, I did not know that. I now know that, but... And, you know what? I work with someone who doesn't drink alcohol. Props to you. I started and I've never looked back. J-Rock, what the flock is up, my man? How you doing? Michael Foley, 37 points is bad. To be honest, it's better you got it this week than a different game week. J-Rock got 65, 57 points from Dom J. Alex Howlett also got 57. Florence Sander got 57 as well. Josh Vincent got 73 points. Hazard captain, was lucky as he didn't play, had Salah as vice. I wish Firmino didn't play. Actually, was Salah my second choice, or was it Sterling? I don't know now, you know. If it was Salah's second choice, then I wish Firmino hadn't played. I made a risky move. I would have been a lot better, and I'd probably risen in rankings quite a bit if I'd gone with Salah, which is what I'd usually have done, because I usually go with the most captain player just to protect my rank. Another Hoops brings up good point. Agrees with Kane as captain if he's playing both games, but Son and Arnie are good gambles if you want to improve your ranking. Ali Eriksson or Son, I have money for either. I would go Son. I think he's got the best chance of being quite explosive, personally, Etan AB. What transfer plans do I have this game week? J&O, so we will look. I've left that up a bit longer than I planned on it. Now, the issue is I've got these 2, both of who look like they are not playing. Now, Norton is banned, I believe, yep, until 22nd of January. Elliott is expected back on the 1st of January. So, who has Pope got in the next game week? Liverpool. That's not ideal. So, I don't really have a goalkeeper unless I just take the hit and keep him there. I then have 3 players on yellows. Now, if De Bruyne was definitely out, it would be quite easy to transfer him out and bring in someone like Son. That would be very simple. Just like that. That would then give me money to... In fact, a significant amount of money to then potentially look at a West Ham midfielder. And we could bring in Arnautovic or Lanzini quite easily. I think even for the likes of Carroll. Just like that. And then there would be a risk of Salah and Kane. Ideally, I would like someone better than Abraham still in that position, although I don't think there is anyone. Still very tempted by Quainer, because then that would give me money to spend elsewhere. But because of rotation, if I got rid of Norton, who would there be? And that would be a -4, by the way. But then if we went defenders, and we went by price, I mean, of course, I could bring a West Ham defender, but I personally don't think they'll do that well. Then again, 2 games to get a clean sheet. I just need to pick someone that won't actually pick up a card of any sort. Robertson, to me, seems a good option long term, however, because he has continuously played for Liverpool. And while there are some tough games there, the fact that he's got this security of game time in the Liverpool side is appealing to me. But of course, I could go Ogbonna, then I'd have some more money to use next game week. I think Masaka's now been priced out of my price range, but I could go Ogbonna just because I know he's at least got 2 games. And then I've got 2 for West Ham and 2 for Spurs, unless Kane doesn't play. There's no one else Spurs midfield cheap enough really to take advantage of. So that could be my move. But just for the record, I'm not making that move right now. But yeah, that could be my move. There's a good chance that is my move, because I do need to swap Norton out. So that's the kind of looking what I might be doing, but that is not nailed down by any means. Alex Howlett is back in Son. Dom J says Ali and Son for him. Florence Sandu is not planning to bring in Harry Kane now because of the illnesses. Firmino or Aguero from Tommy Plays. To be honest, I do now kind of want to make plans to bring in Aguero and then have Kane and Aguero. What you think of Salah in great form but could be injured for game against Burnley? He could be injured for the game week against Burnley, but I'm not going to take him out just because of that injury. I still think right now he's one of those players you need to have in your team. If you don't have him, like, fair enough, I didn't captain him, but if I didn't have him as well, that would have been a lot of points I lost out to on people. So I feel like Salah you need to have in your side. I know some people don't want to just follow the formula that a lot of people are following, but sometimes you need at least some of those players to help and protect your ranking. Aguero will play if Jesus is injured. As far as I'm aware, Jesus is injured. Florence Sandu, I agree. Aguero will play every game, apart from maybe, it depends when they get to Champions League, but in January, I feel like he'll play every Premier League game quite easily. Eaton AB, if I can afford it, should I bring in 2 Spurs midfielders? If you can afford it and you think they're both going to do well, then yeah. If you don't have Kane, then I would suggest having 2 Spurs midfielders. Of course, I personally prefer Spurs with Kane leading the line, but you're going to need Spurs coverage for this double game week. Because if they do really well and you have no Spurs coverage, you're screwed. Playing Crouch alongside Aguero and Kane tomorrow. Dom J, that could work really well. Aguero and Kane are, in my eyes, the 2 best strikers in the league. Transferred out Christensen, Richarlison, Hazard for Alonso, Arnautovic and Son. I can't see anything wrong with that, especially with the double game week in mind. Tommy Plays brought in Kane, Ericsson, Arnautovic and Musaka. So he's gone for 4 transfers there. Triple captain Kane, yes or no? I will probably not triple captain Kane. Purely because I'm worried he won't play one of the games. I want to make sure my triple captain is used at the right time. And I may end up not using it at the right time because I'm so worried that Kane isn't playing. Hence why I don't know if I'm making my transfers tonight, despite the fact that a lot of players are going to go up in price that I'm looking at. That illness has really worried me. He's not playing in both games. If it's the same illness I've just had, he should be okay. Because I'm starting to recover now, but I've not heard anything about him training. I've not heard anything to suggest he's definitely going to play the first game of this double game week. Yellow flags everywhere. Exactly, J-Rock. Rated Mega said Poch said only Alderweireld is out. From what I can tell, he had a press conference, Pochettino, about 2 days ago, and whilst he didn't say Kane is ruled out, he didn't say he was definite, which still worries me. Real DMC says those brave enough to triple captain Kane will be victorious. Alex Howlett, where's the best place to look to see latest injury news about Kane? Somewhere before 11:30 tomorrow night. What I will say is keep your eyes on Twitter. Keep them absolutely peeled, because Eden Hazard was reported as being on the bench, or like whatever happened with Eden Hazard, literally 3 minutes before deadline on Twitter. So if you keep your eye on Twitter, you may get some sort of news from an inside source. But the problem is Spurs aren't playing tomorrow, which could really affect any news you get from their camp. So there is nowhere I'm confident will give you good news on Monday, because Spurs aren't playing on Monday. I have no West Ham or Spurs defender. Do I get one in for -4? Money isn't a limit. Josh Vincent, I would definitely... I wouldn't say you need a defender from either. There's the possibility they could get 2 clean sheets. But I just don't think many people are focusing on that. So I'm not sure if it will really hurt you. Spurs and West Ham's defence haven't been the best, so I could see them both conceding. Swansea scoring against Spurs, though, is... I don't know. Because Swansea are kind of an unknown entity because of the changes they're currently going through. Real DMC, Coutinho is going to Barcelona. Will Coutinho start? See, this is the reason I didn't bring him in. And fair enough, he was probably a better choice than De Bruyne and easily a better choice than Hazard. However, I was always worried that I would have to make a transfer unless I use my wild card to get Coutinho out of my club during January. Of course, it isn't set in stone yet, but the signs are looking like Coutinho's going to Barcelona. Unless Barcelona are playing some sort of weird game, because they put Coutinho in an advert, and Nike or whoever sponsors Barcelona's top kit, they put Coutinho in an advert, which kind of suggests they're confident of getting him. I reckon Coutinho will still start though, rated mega. I think Klopp, if Klopp knows he's going, I don't think Klopp minds running Coutinho into the ground. Harry Doherty, sorry if I said that wrong, it might be Doherty, but I took an L this game week with 40 points. Sorry to hear that. Play wildcard or 16-point hit. I mean, 16-point hit is very, very brave. But if you're bringing in double game week players, if you're confident they will get more than 4 points, then you're going to be in the plus. Just you need them to get quite a bit more than 4 points each, ideally. Should I keep Hugo Lloris? Truman, if you've got him, I wouldn't get rid of him for a double game week. Another Hoops, never a -16-point hit, especially with wildcard available. I'd say if you're thinking so heavily of using the -16, the free hit or the wildcard would be probably your best bet, because you're clearly looking at drastic changes. Right now, when I look at my team, fair enough, there's 2 reds and there's 3 yellows there, which means I've only got a squad of 10 that look like they're playing. But I've got 2 transfers, so I don't feel like I need to take a -16. I might take a -4, but a -16 suggests that even with the 1 transfer you have, you're still making another 4 transfers. That's 5 transfers in total. So you may need to use a wildcard. Tommy plays. My team is Foster, Yoshidi, Masuaka, Shaw, Celes, Mahrez, Arnautovic, Eriksson, and Salah. Kane and Firmino in attack. I like the look of that team. Lascelles, I'm not too sure about. Shaw does seem to be playing more regularly now. Yoshida, I'm not sure about again. But Harry Doherty, I played wildcard and brought in Son, Arnautovic, Lloris and Chicharito, but Chicharito never starts. I wouldn't have used a wildcard just for 1 game week, but I'd start to change your team straight away after the double game week if that's what you've done. Thomas McCarthy got 50 points. Thank you for joining the stream, my friend. John Jones is apparently in the chat. Should I take a -4 with Ruben Loftus-Cheek out for Arnautovic in? I would say that is a good move. That's the only minus you're taking. Isa T is in the chat. Happy New Year, everyone, he says. I need to get a cheaper forward to upgrade my midfield. Who do you think I should go with? Crouch, Okazaki, Dominic Calvert-Lewin? I would go Dominic Calvert-Lewin, although I don't really like any of those 3 personally. Who is my captain? I'm probably going to captain Kane. Probably. Again, I'm probably pretty similar to Josh. I don't have the balls to not captain him when I think so many people are going to. Truman, should I keep Arnautovic long term? I would say I wouldn't transfer him out straight after the double game week, purely because after the double game week they have Huddersfield, Bournemouth, Palace and Brighton Hove Albion. Those are some decent fixtures for West Ham, and their attack definitely seems to be better now. If I've done the 16-point hit and I use my wild card instead, does the 16 points get cancelled? I believe so. I'm pretty sure if you use your wild card after you've made transfers and took minuses, it will cancel out all the minuses. If someone else in the chat could verify that, though, that would be good. I've always played it before I start making the transfers, though. Happy New Year, all from the False 9. I've transferred Hazard to Son. Debating spending 4 points going from Firmino to Aguero. City could run riot versus Watford. They could. And Aguero is very likely to start now. Why doesn't Hernandez start? Well, basically, Hernandez is a striker. And right now we're having success with Arnautovic playing as striker. So I personally don't like Hernandez anywhere else other than leading the line. And yeah, I think you might regret Hernandez being brought in. Arnautovic would be the one to pick, really, other than maybe if you wanted to take a punt on Lanzini. Mika McClatchy, overhyped double game week. I think so. I think a lot of people are so focused on it. I'm not sure there's lots and lots of, lots and lots of points there. There's going to be double game weeks where there will be like 5 teams playing a double game week. You probably need 6 teams, or 4 teams and 6 teams playing a double game week. So this is definitely an overhyped one. Dom J asks, what am I doing? I'll probably have 1 West Ham and 2 Spurs, most likely. Injuries for big players means risk-taking time for me. I will outside on KDB regardless of money loss. To be honest, from what I can tell, the KDB and Salah injuries may be minor. That's kind of what I heard on Twitter after they happened. How bad has Morata been? Thinking he might have to go soon by Real DMC. Let me have a look at him. Okay, so Morata. If we're looking as far as goal threat, he's had 13 attempts in the last 6. That's equal with Lacazette, but it's behind Rodriguez, Rashford, Gale, Firmino, Ayew, Rondon, and it's well behind Aguero and Kane. As far as shots inside the box, Morata is actually, again, equal with Lacazette and Rashford now, but Firmino, Rondon, Benteke, Aguero and Kane are better off. And as far as big chances go, Firmino, Benteke, Aguero, Austin and Kane have had more. And shots on target, which is a good indicator, Morata, if I can find him, there he is. He's had 5 shots on target from 13. That's less shots on target than Ayew, Rodriguez, Defoe, Firmino, Aguero, Austin and Kane. So he's not actually, after Aguero and Kane, he's not the worst expensive striker. It's just he's not getting as many chances as you'd like him to get currently. But he has had less game time. Jamal Rice is in the chat. How are you, Jamal? DLM75, how are you doing? My first time with 2... DLM75, are you a YouTuber? Because if you are, the flock goes and joins any YouTubers that join the stream. So if DLM75 has a YouTube channel, go and check that out. J Rock, my first time with 2 transfers. It's been a while since I've had 2 transfers as well. Although, if you're already bored of Fantasy Premier League, might be in the wrong chat. Might be in the wrong stream. If Kane doesn't play, then Son might lead the line, so Son the must-have. I think you're right, Desiree. I think Son you need to bring into your team just in case. I mean, Llorente is there, but I'm just not sure he will be brought in. Ricarlson out, Arnautovic in for J-Rock. I think that's a good move. KDB is definitely out according to Mika McClatchy. If that is the case, then that's money I can easily use elsewhere. So that is good to know. Harry Doherty, FPL today. I have Son, Lanzini, Arnautovic, Sanchez and Hernandez. Is that good or bad because Hernandez doesn't start? I'd say Hernandez isn't great purely because I don't think he's going to start. I think he will be a substitute appearance player or a super sub. That would be a better way to describe it. So, yeah, I personally think Hernandez isn't the best to go for. Pepe's playing hide and seek with Silva. To be honest, I'm surprised he didn't start today. And that's a big plus for me because my opponent had Silva. John Narty got 45 points. Didn't have a great game week. John Jones got 66 though, which would have been very good. David Silva's apparently in Spain with his wife who just had a baby. That's fair play to him. Can't be annoyed at him for not playing, for doing that. I'm paranoid Guardiola will do something like stick Sterling up front with no Jesus. He's an FPL nightmare. I'm pretty sure Aguero will play. I mean, that would be an extreme curveball that he throws us. Thomas McCarthy, I appreciate that. I've been ill for the last 2 days. Just starting to get over it. I'm not quite sure how good an idea drinking is for me right now. John Jones, the questions I was probably reading when you put that comment were probably a lot higher up in the chat because I always drop behind the chat because I get into detail about the questions. I think Jamal said, did Harry Kane train? I don't know. Let me see if I can find anything about that. The answer to that is absolutely not. Harry Kane should he recover from sniffles to set to prospect? Yeah. No idea. I see no news at all about Harry Kane, which is great. When is the next best time to use the next wildcard? I generally use it before a double game week, usually the biggest double game week, but also with an eye to, because there'll probably be 2 double game weeks usually near the end of the season. So I usually use it to take the, to make the most of those 2 double game weeks. Zabaleta and Cresswell, I'm pretty confident will start another hoops, purely because they've had a decent amount of time to rest. So I think 2 games that close, a lot of them should be able to at least start both games. J Rock bringing Arnie and Vertonghen in. Jamal Rice. Oh, speaking to Harry Doherty. I had Salah as vice captain. Well done. Dropped to 56k. Sorry to hear that, John. John Layla, how you doing? Or Lala. I don't know how to say your second name. I'm used to a W being in there. Sorry for that. Dom J says, rumours Man City will now make a big offer for Alexis Sanchez. Now Jesus is out for a while. Isa T, if De Bruyne is out for too long, you think it's a smart to bring in Gundogan? I don't know how you say his name. Alongside Sterling and Aguero. I wouldn't take the risk because who knows, Silva might come back, he might play Silva. I don't like trying to predict Pep Guardiola. Have we got brothers in the chat, Ian and John? Nice to see you in the chat. Get Renato Sanchez, you noob. Nah, I'm okay, thank you very much. Renato Sanchez is one of those players everyone thought they should have, and then the actual game started and it just didn't go that well. Sanchez goes to City, then I need to gamble to get him in. Again, I don't like when players change sides. Kane needs to get more goals to be top scorer of Spurs. He is record hungry and probably smash that this week. Triple captain on. Fair play. I definitely think he wants to be a record goal scorer. He's also got plenty of time though. Oladipo, no one knows. I really wish I could give you a more definitive answer on Harry Kane, whether he's going to start, whether he's going to play both games. No one knows. It all depends if he gets over his illness. If it's the same illness I have, I imagine, especially with better doctors than I have, and I didn't even go see my doctor, I imagine he should be back for both games. John Layla, I like Eriksen as a transfer in personally. I like Eriksen as a player, so that could work out really well for you. Evan Chowdhury, with Wanyama back, Spurs should get a clean sheet, but concerned with Davis and Aurier having a chance to be rotated with Trippier and Rose, but Sanchez Vertonghen plays cemented. Exactly. If you're going to go for a defender from Spurs, Vertonghen would be the one I'd go for. Jeff Holt's going to Kane, Son, Arnautovic and Adrian. I take your point with Adrian, but I plan on rotating with Elliott next 4 to 6 game weeks. A good rotation. That's fair enough. Although at the moment, Elliott isn't definite to play in the next game. Eriksen is greater than Son, according to Oladipo. Evan Chowdhury, how confident are you Kane will play both games? That's really difficult to say because usually this knowledge is based off of the type of injury they've had and also press conferences. I won't have another press conference to make my decision off of him with. It's also an illness. I don't know exactly the severity of the illness, but one guy I do follow on Twitter who I think is very in the know is Ben Dinnery. That's at Ben Dinnery. Some of you will know him, some of you won't. I think he is affiliated with PremierInjuries.com, which is the site that I use when I'm doing these live streams. I haven't seen him say anything about Kane recently. But for instance, it's off of him I'm getting my knowledge about Jesus out for up to 2 months. But let's see if I can find anything about Kane. Yeah, there's nothing recently that he's put up. So it's probably what I read earlier on in the week. So yeah, it's going to be difficult with Kane. I'm not confident. If I was confident he's going to play both games, there would be no doubt who I put my captaincy armband on. But because there is doubt, then I'm clearly not confident. So I'd say I'm 50%, which is a real cop-out, isn't it? But I cannot tell you for definite or not if he's playing. If I could actually find what Ben said about Harry Kane. Kane is struggling due to illness. Pochettino is hopeful he can recover in time for Tuesday. So even Pochettino isn't being very committal about his chances of playing. Thank you, Jeff, for reconfirming what I thought. If you've taken hits and then you play your wild card, it will cancel out your hits. Dom J says Hernandez over the hill. Who is likely to score more goals from Evan Chowdhury, Masaka or Ogbonna? I reckon neither will score. Because we're all hoping they will score. I reckon neither will score. Stavray Koroveshi. Don't think I've seen you in the chat before, but Happy New Year to you too, my friend. Dom J says Silva will be back for Man City on the weekend. Maybe back, sorry. Apparently Florence Sanders says Salah goes to Africa to get his Player of the Year award. My plan for Game Week 22, I've already gone over it, but it's probably to bring in a Spurs midfielder, probably Son, and then probably a West Ham or Spurs defender, and then maybe even a third transfer, which would take a -4 hit for another player from West Ham or Spurs. I do kind of want Arnautovic in my side. Dom J says Morata was useless yesterday. I'm glad I didn't have him because I saw a lot of Chelsea captainers freaking out with Hazard and Morata. De Bruyne will miss Watford, but will be back for Liverpool match as he won't play in FA Cup. Salah, Probs won't start against Burnley, but Probs will play in FA Cup against Everton. So, unfortunately, that's 2 of my midfielders probably out. But they are. I won't be getting Salah out just because he's going to the FA Cup. And I finished... Okay, I maybe shouldn't... I've made a mistake, a grave mistake, most likely, seeing as I've got work tomorrow. That is quite a big dosage. So, yeah. Not sure that was the bravest idea, especially as I only got that much Pepsi left. So, this could be getting a bit messy. Game Week 22, Vice-Captain Hazard, although tough fixture, should play after rest and will be good security against uncertainty and main captaincy choices. I don't know, because purely... I'm starting to lose faith in Hazard. Stream with the flock till midnight, JNO, your boss will understand. If I wasn't ill, I would consider it. I say while drinking a very, very strong drink. Do I do it? I mean, I told my wife it would be a short stream because I am ill and I should really rest. Because I've got to be up at 7:30ish in the morning. I will consider your request, Jeff. I will consider your request. Don't know what you can do to make me consider it more. Maybe tweet about it. Why would I tell you to tweet about it? Because then if you tweet about it, everyone's going to see you tweeted that I'm staying on, and then everyone's going to expect I'm staying on. I think I've had too much alcohol already. What's your overall rank? My overall rank for Bro's show is 50,300th. I have been climbing up the ranks significantly recently. I was a slow starter this year, but I am climbing up the ranks. I'm in the top 1%. Just took a -4, Josh Vincent, Son, Arnautovic and Kane for Hazard, Pogba and Lacazette. I like it. Did a -8 transfer that used my wildcard, will be taking it away. Yep, your wildcard will take the -8 away. 3-match ban incoming for Ashley Young. I think Carl Norton's also got that. Quinton Jansen. Hey, Jenna, I'm with you between celebrating and worrying about the next game week. Why did they have to end one game week on New Year's Eve and then start the next one on New Year's Day? I don't think they've done this before. If they did, I didn't worry about it as much last year. Morata to Vardy, possibly. Morata's not exactly been on fire, has he? Can I compare Mahrez and De Bruyne? Certainly. Alright, so we got Mahrez and then compare De Bruyne. Okay, so off the top of it, it looks like De Bruyne wins. We've got goals 3-2 in Mahrez's favour, but total assists is drawn at 2 apiece. I think I've said this before, though. I've said Mahrez's underlying stats don't suggest he'll continue scoring the way he will. Mahrez actually has better goal involvement than De Bruyne, 46 to 33%. BPS, De Bruyne is more likely to get you bonus points. Minutes per goal, Mahrez is winning. Minutes per attempt, however, De Bruyne is winning. Shot accuracy, then, of course, is going to be in Mahrez's favour, as well as goal conversion. And then as far as assists, minutes per chance created, it's being won by Kevin De Bruyne, 34 minutes to 39 minutes. However, Mahrez has more assists. He, however, hasn't created more big chances. They're equal, 3 apiece. Chances created, 15 chances to 13 in De Bruyne's favour, through balls, also in De Bruyne's favour, 3-2. So basically, De Bruyne kind of wins in the majority of underlying stats. However, Mahrez is scoring more FPL points, which is of no help at all. If that continues, though, Mahrez is the better option. Quinton Jansen, I took a 20-point hit to bring in Aguero and double game week players in. Been losing ground since game week 5. That's extremely, extremely extreme. Extremely, extremely extreme. Wow. Good use of English there. 20-point hit. You need each player to get more than 4 points just to be breaking even. As long, I don't know which players he brought in, but that's extreme. Wow, that drink's strong now. Leo G, Happy New Year, bruv. Loving the podcast. Great work. Who do you see as captain's options for this week? I seriously think Harry Kane is a safe option. If I actually have a look at the captaincy poll. Right now, 58.9% look like, at least with the website I use most frequently, which is Fantasy Football Scout, 58.9% have voted they'll be captaining Kane. The next best option is Son. 10% have voted for him. Then it's Eriksen, and then it's Dele Alli, then it's Arnautovic. So the double game week main players are dominating it. There is 2% voting with Aguero, however, purely because they're playing Watford. Other than that, Sterling is there. The usual names are there. But to cover yourself, I'd go with a Spurs player. Harry Doherty, I've gone for Lanzini as captain. If it works for you, it will work really well, because not many people have gone for it. However, if it goes wrong, it could go very wrong. Basically, when ownership is high of a captaincy choice, if that captain does well and yours doesn't, you are going to suffer. Quinton Jansen, after this game, we're going to need Kane and Aguero, but I think I should. There'll be nothing wrong with having Kane and Aguero, I think. However, generally this year, midfield has been the place where points are. William Hopkins, I kind of feel like West Ham aren't that rotation risk heavy, personally. I could be proven wrong though, William. Should I replace Silva with Son or Ali, or Silva will be back? I mean, if you could replace someone else, if Silva's meant to be back, then Silva's a good shout, especially with De Bruyne most definitely being out for the first, for the next game week. William Hopkins said, Poch said today that only concern is Alderweireld. If that is the case, I would put your captaincy armband on Kane. Harry Doherty wants West Ham to beat. I'm not going to say the word just because I'm streaming and, you know, people get a bit sensitive about it. But Masaka has a better chance. He plays a very attacking left back. Probably Masaka less likely to play both games. Masaka's been quite consistent in that West Ham side though, hasn't he? As far as I can remember off the top of my head. If we go have a look, see. Yeah, I mean, he hasn't looked that big a rotation risk. The reason he could be a rotation risk, of course, because his position is a lot more physically demanding. DC says, triple captain Kane in one. Thanks and Happy New Year. I think a lot of people will triple captain him. William Hopkins said an interview on Spurs' Twitter. That's where he's getting the details about Kane not being a worry. Any 4.6 West Ham midfield to score 5 points or more? I mean, Kouyaté can pop up with points. Kouyaté would be the one I'd go with. Noble is injured, so wouldn't even bother. I'd say, if you're really that strapped for cash, Kouyaté can pop up with goals. Quinton Jansen says it's 13 minutes away from New Year's for him, so he may still be there for that. And that was, who knows, that could have been 5 minutes ago, so it might be 8 minutes for him. Jeff Holt doesn't want to twist, but thank you very much, Jeff. As you can hear, you can probably hear the sniffles. JP43 thinks people have gone ham on the double game week. I think most people should have is free. The thing is, you've got to consider, you've got to get back to a decent team after the double game week. Now, West Ham do have decent fixtures after. Spurs, do you want 3 Spurs players in your side? Their fixtures aren't too bad. You do have 2 game weeks, Everton and Southampton, before you have Manchester United and Liverpool, where you can get those players out. But JP43 definitely brings up a good point. But you do have time. But I would suggest, by the time it gets to Man United and Liverpool, you probably want your players in other sides. Toss McCarthy, I'm in the top 98.5%. Dom J, the best scenario is Harry Kane gets a 20-minute hat-trick and gets substituted off, and then will come back in and play the next game, and then another hat-trick in 20 minutes and get subbed off. Desiree Charija wants to beat me and Siraj. Bring it on, friend. Bring it on. Do you think Callum Wilson is now a forward option again? By the way, just in case any of you are wondering, what I'm likely to do, purely because he is one of my favourite YouTubers, I am likely to go on Loki Doki's stream. It is on Twitch, so if you don't have Twitch, fair enough. But if you do want to still chat with me, I will be heading over to Loki Doki's stream, most likely, because, to be honest, for me, he's one of the most genuine guys on YouTube, and he has helped me out quite a lot before. So that is probably where I'll head over for New Year's. I haven't been in his stream for a while, so that's probably what I'll be doing. Probably not on New Year's, because I'll probably be in bed by then, but if I do stop this stream, I will be heading over there. But don't leave until I've finished, please. Do I think Callum Wilson's now a forward option again? Good fixtures and King, Defoe are out long term. I don't like Bournemouth right now as option. I don't feel like I've got any faith in them. Gordon Gilbody, if your team is in that dire need of it, then go for it. The only problem is, now the transfer window opens, if Sanchez, for instance, goes to City, will he rotate with Aguero? So you brought Aguero in and then there's rotation risk again. Hence why I don't like using my wildcard in January. I did do it the first year I did YouTube, and it worked out for me, so it can work, but my team was in dire straits then. Mika, I don't think Kane will be fully fit, but I think he's still capable of scoring. Gordon Gilbody, if your wildcard is activated, the tips I would suggest is bring in 2 Spurs options and 1 West Ham for the double game week. I would then say Aguero right now is a good shout, purely because Jesus is injured. I'd say Sterling and Salah, actually you could miss Salah and then bring him in with your next transfer for the next game week. So miss Salah. I would potentially get some Liverpool coverage though, just in case, and then change to Salah. As far as defence, Chelsea's defence are starting to look good again. Man United's defence are not bad. Other than that, Man City, Otamendi, but Otamendi's risen in price quite significantly. John Stones is available. Looks like he'll be coming back into the side soon and is a lot cheaper, so that could be an option for you. He can pop up with goals as well. Tommy Plays, my squad value is not as high as FPL Tips, and I don't know what FPL Tips ranking is at the moment. Would be interesting for me to find out, but my actual team value is something like 102, I think. 102.5. But I really don't play with an eye on transfer value. In fact, is he in one of my mini leagues? He was before. But I don't think I did it again this year, so I don't know how well he's doing. Gordon Gilbert, his team value is 103.2. Joe's Ibarra likes soccer. A lot of us don't call it soccer in this place, but never mind. Sanchez or Hazard? Sanchez doing okay at the moment. Hazard guaranteed start. Free hit active. Hope you have a happy new year. If you're using free hit for this game, I would say I just huffed twice. I don't like a lot of fireworks for 10 o'clock, but probably means it's New Year's for someone in the chat. So happy New Year. Was it Quinton said it's going to be his happy New Year? So happy New Year, my friend. Hope it's a good one for you. Hope everything is prosperous and happy, and I've not thought of a good New Year's speech. But anyway, I prefer Sanchez at the moment, but I don't like London derbies. They're unpredictable. Dom J's at 104.3 million transfer value. Jeff Holt, so who would you prefer, Hazard and Calvert-Lewin or Carroll and Aguero? For me, Carroll and Aguero. That was actually quite easy for me. That's my gut. Ilyas Hussein, hey JNO, how you doing, Ilyas? I might be going off in a second, unfortunately, but glad that you could join the chat. Is Salah going to start? It doesn't look like Salah's going to start the next game. Triple captain Harold, or hold it for another double game week? I will definitely be captaining him. If I will be triple captaining, I don't know, to be fair, but it's possible. Will we have a player like Aguero or Kane with fixtures this good again in the season? Jeff Holt, you know nothing, John Stones. Very good, Jeff. Very, very good. How do you spell the Twitch stream you'll go to, Loki Doki? Sean Peterson, Loki Doki is L-O-K-I and then D-O-K-I. So just replace the Y's with I's and you'll get there. Quinton Jansen, happy 2018, my friend. Hope everything's good for you. Hope you win the whole FPL game. Hope you win it completely. Tommy Plays Morata was disappointing. I think he's been disappointed for a while. Hack says, so amazing I found an FPL stream. Are you from FF Scout? No, I'm not, unfortunately. I would love to work with them in the future, but they are aware of my existence. I at least know that. I have spoken to Mark Southern. I'm pretty sure Andy knows who I am. But other than those two, I am a big fan of the FF Scout website, though. Ilyas is saying Happy New Year. So, yeah, everyone in that kind of area, that time zone, Happy New Year to you guys. I won't be doing Happy New Year to people in my time zone. But, again, I will probably be going to Loki Doki stream. So if you want to join me in that, then feel free. And then, Hack, I'll answer your final questions, and then I'm going to sign off, because I do need to rest up. I am a bit ill. Hack, is Kane a sure runner? Pochettino hasn't mentioned him apparently in his interview on Twitter, according to one of the people in the chat. So it looks like Harry Kane is likely to play both games. If he'll play the whole 90 minutes, doubtful. But hopefully he's got enough time to impact our game weeks and Tottenham's double game week. So I will probably risk captaining Kane. Will I triple captain him? I don't know. Josh Vincent, I want to get Alonso, but 7.2 million just seems too much. There was a chance when he dropped in price to get Alonso in. I had Alonso and I got rid of him. I wish I hadn't. So that's very unfortunate, but so be it. He is very expensive, but right now he seems a very good way into the Chelsea side. Wassim Nawab, shall I replace Salah with Eriksen and bring in Aguero or Morata for Firmino and take a -8? Don't feel bad about taking a -8, but I would say you only need 2 Spurs players and 1 West Ham. Maybe 2 and 2, maybe 3 and 1. But don't go changing your whole team, because then you've got to start changing it back afterwards. So I personally wouldn't get rid of Salah, because it's going to cost you to get him back in. Other than that, Firmino out for Aguero, with Aguero being more nailed on most likely in the foreseeable future, potentially. Thomas McCarthy, if you're leaving, bye, Happy New Year. Oh, he's saying it to me most likely, so yeah. Happy New Year to you, my friend. Thank you for being such a loyal supporter of the channel. Evan J. Fox, thank you very much. Happy New Year to you as well. And I will close it off now with a Happy New Year to everybody that has been part of the flock, part of the streams, part of the YouTube videos, part of taking me from when I started this year. I think I was just over 2,000 subscribers. I'm now 4,300 and something subscribers. So thank you guys so much for a great 2017. It's not been the best year for me this year, to be fair. A lot of things have gone wrong this year outside of YouTube. But having this community has been absolutely amazing. So thank you guys so much for your support. It does mean the world to me. As always, we will continue into 2018. If you want to support the stream or the channel in any way, there's various links in the description. And you can sponsor the stream and do super chats in the stream when we are live. I've been JNO. This has been FPL Today. And remember, it's all about the game. And Hack, highest I've ever finished was just outside the top 10k. I've just seen your question.